Hey, Polly.
Hey Greg, how are you?
I am feeling good. Hopefully, spring is in the air sometime soon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say today. I was like, have you been outside?
No, definitely not today. But when I think of spring, I think of wellness. I think of fitness. And you can't say wellness and fitness without talking about Wellness Week in Herren.
Yes.
So today on Totally Preventable, we are going to have Tricia Mansfield, the Senior Director of Prevention and Strategic Partnerships from Herren, on
To talk about Wellness
to
Week.
talk about Wellness Week.
Awesome.
Uh,
Right around the
last
corner.
last year they had me planking, so I'm hoping
You're hoping for no planking this
for no planking this year.
year?
My abs are hoping for no planking this year, so we'll see. We'll see. I talked a lot of junk last year, so Tricia and Bonnie put me up to the challenge. So I'm going to try not to talk junk this year.
Did they plank last year too?
I believe so, but I did a lot of trash talking last year, so
What did that get you?
yeah, had to do it. Learn from my mistakes. So yes, Wellness Week will be March 4th through 9th this year, and yeah, we're gonna have Tricia tell us all about it.
All right. Can't wait to hear what they're up to.
All right. So without further ado, joining us today on the Totally Preventable podcast, we have Tricia Mansfield, the Senior Director of Prevention and Strategic Partnerships of Herren. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
This is great. This is great. We've been waiting for Tricia to come on because out here in Newport County, Wellness Week is a huge, huge deal. And when we talk Wellness Week, we had to go right to the guru yourself. So thank you for joining us today.
That's good to see
Well,
you again, twice in 1 week.
yes, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on the Totally Preventable podcast to share a little bit about Wellness Week with Herren. I know myself and all of the Herren organizations are really looking forward to our 5th year celebration. This is our 5th year going into celebrating wellness and prevention efforts here in not only Newport County, but also nationwide.
Mm,
I always seem to forget that because I always I always think of Heron as
our baby.
our like here thing, but I do know that you're nationwide.
So, Tricia, can you tell us a little bit about what goes on at Wellness Week? Like some examples of what may have been done in the past and what kind of things can we look forward to this year?
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned, Wellness Week with Herren is a national event, and it takes place during the first full week of March. So, this year it will be March 4th through the 9th. And during Wellness Week with Herren, Chris Herren and all the Herren organizations come together with businesses, schools, families, and communities to celebrate and participate in health promoting activities. Through Wellness Week, we're trying to help prevent the misuse of substances, empower those affected by the disease of addiction, and encourage overall well-being. And we're trying to do that through fitness activities, wellness activities that promote mental, social, and emotional well-being. We're also encouraging people to show their purple spirit and really be an advocate for substance use prevention, and then also giving back and volunteerism. We know that giving back not only helps the community, but it also helps the organization that you are, collecting donations for. And just overall, it has positive impacts, I think, on people's well-being. It makes you feel good. And it just gives you a sense of purpose. Additionally, we also have wellness webinar series that we're really excited about this year. This will be our first time holding a virtual webinar series. And we'll be hosting 8 webinars between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to provide education and resources aimed at helping everyone understand and practice wellness in their lives at work, school, and at home. And we're encouraging people to register for these webinars. You can register for one or all of the webinars. And each wellness webinar is designed to provide practical tools and information that people can use to live healthy lives, to celebrate recovery and prevent substance misuse.
So Tricia, will the webinars be recorded so they can be watched at your leisure, or are there specific ones that are timed that you have to be on live?
So the wellness webinar series are going to be happening during specific times of day. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Some of them will be recorded and others will not. And you can find that out at the time of registration. We will be offering webinars such as youth mental health first aid. We'll also be offering Campaign to Change Direction with your very own Bridget Manning through No Wrong Door. And then also we're going to be doing a screening of the first day film, followed by a youth panel discussion with Chris Herren on the impacts the film has had on youth today. Additionally, we will be doing It's All About Choices with Jesse Funk, who is a top youth speaker. We'll also be doing Building Wellness Competencies with Herren Project's clinical director, Kristen Young. And then also a Peace Love workshop. So we'll be doing Mandela Poetry, which is creating through an expressive arts workshop. And then we will also be having Herren Wellness, who's going to be hosting a webinar called Why Wait? And that is with Lori McCarthy and Heather Herren, and it's all about early intervention. So again, many of these will be taped, but there are some that will not be able to be taped. So I just encourage people to get on and register and check out registration details on our website.
The webinar series seems far less painful than the planking that I had to do last year for Herren. So
Oh, no planking this year?
And I'm glad you brought that up. That's actually one of our fitness challenges this year, which is our We Plank Purple challenge.
I thought I was avoiding it.
We do encourage you to participate in that again this year. And a lot of our community partners and schools are integrating that into either the workplace or even physical education classes and having groups of people plank together. So it's a really fun opportunity. Additionally, there are places such as local fitness centers and yoga and bar studios that are integrating this into their week as well to really help raise awareness for, recovery and also the prevention of substance use disorders. So we're really excited. It's a fun and spirited way to, show your support and spread awareness.
And anyone can join the webinars. You just need to register ahead of time. Is that right?
Yes, and we are providing these webinars at no cost to individuals. So we definitely encourage people to register for Wellness Week with Herren, followed by registering for the wellness webinars.
Terrific. At some point you mentioned all of the Herren organizations, I think, and I know this isn't directly related to wellness, and we are here to talk about Wellness Week, but could you just quickly mention all of the Herren organizations so people can understand a little bit about what else Herren does besides Wellness Week?
Absolutely. So Chris Herren, he is the founder of Herren Project, Herren Talks, and Herren Wellness. And just to share a little bit about Chris, Chris has been in recovery since August 1st of 2008, and he just recently celebrated 15 years in recovery. And Chris shares his story with the goal of making a positive difference in the lives of others. His recovery journey has been documented in the best-selling memoir, Basketball Junkie, also Unguarded, which is an ESPN film documentary, and also the First Day film, which, as I mentioned, is part of our Wellness Week with Herren webinar series. As I mentioned, he's the founder of Herren Talks as well. And Chris began speaking in 2010 nationally through Herren Talks and has spoken to over 2 million students and community members, starting honest discussions about substance use disorder and wellness. And so he is a motivational speaker and also a wellness advocate. And so then he also founded Herren Wellness in 2018 to help adults who struggled like he did, empowering them to live healthy, substance-free lives. And so Herren Wellness provides holistic wellness services, and they focus on the whole person, so the mind, the body, and the spirit. Then to share a little bit about Herren Project, we're a nonprofit organization, and we have recovery and prevention services. So individual recovery services such as treatment placement assistance, recovery scholarships, alumni groups and events. And then we also have family support services such as online family support groups and grief groups. We also do 15-minute phone consultations. We have educational webinars that we do year round. And then we have our prevention and our community building efforts, which consist of Herren Project clubs, which are in schools and youth serving organizations, Wellness Week with Herren, and then we also have ambassador programs, both youth and adult ambassador programs, and Team Herren Project.
I heard you mention schools. So how do schools get involved, and what is the time commitment of starting a Herren youth group?
Anyone can join. Any school or youth serving organization can register to become a Herren Project club. And Herren Project clubs have an adult advisor, but they are youth-led clubs. So all of our activities and events that are part of our Herren Project Club toolkit are designed to promote leadership and also a peer education model within the schools.
So Tricia, in any of the Herren clubs, are there any Wellness Week activities that have to do with the youth?
Absolutely. So we do have some original activities that have been part of Wellness Week from the very beginning, such as our Wellness Bingo, which integrates wellness practices into the bingo game. We also have 20 Steps to Wellness with a fitness challenge where practices into their daily routine and track that and try and create a new healthy habit. Some of the activities that have been newly released have actually been inspired by Herren Project Club members and some of our very own youth ambassadors. And so last year we released the Take Notes Project, which was an initiative created by our youth ambassador, Natalie, where she basically wanted to spread kindness and positive energy throughout her school and community. And she created small handwritten notes of kindness. She put them in baskets and distributed them throughout her school and different places within her community. And she would replenish those notes and just continued that throughout actually I believe, throughout the entire year. And so we thought it was such a great idea that we actually made that an activity for our Herren Project clubs, but also integrated it into Wellness Week with Herren, because we know that kindness creates a feeling of self-worth and belonging and really impacts overall wellness. this year, we were also inspired by another youth ambassador and her club members, where last year they actually took the initiative to use creative expression to share their passion for prevention and wellness with their community by creating wellness windows. And so what they did was they took washable window markers and paint, and they used creativity to spread messages of wellness. They really focused on our pillars of prevention for Herren Project clubs, which are healthy choices, self-care, decision-making skills, empowerment, and stress management.
I really commend the window
Yeah,
project.
I know. I was like, "Oh, what's this gonna be?"
I would lose my mind trying to decide, okay, now the window, should I write backwards so
Oh.
you can see it? It would drive me crazy. So I commend those who can do that project. I'm looking forward to it.
And so we're encouraging, people to come up with their own wellness messages, but also you can utilize some of our Wellness Week with Herren messages, such as Be You, Live Well, Community, Live Well Together, Wellness, which is the key to prevention and recovery, Celebrate Wellness and Healthy Choices, Grow, Heal, Thrive. It all starts with wellness, and Live Your Best Life. And that actually makes me think about our Be You, Live Well Together theme. And so this year for Wellness Week with Herren, we've decided to put a spotlight on community, because we really believe that community is the key element to maintaining long-term recovery of substance use disorder and also living healthy, fulfilling lives. So as a part of our prevention and community building model, the Herren organizations chose to have a BU Live Well Together focus on this year's Wellness Week with Herren. And so we're just encouraging everyone to promote unity and shared commitment to practicing wellness, connecting with your best self, and coming together as a community.
It really seems like, Herren's put a lot of effort into this to make it a, turnkey type of experience. I can't tell you how many times I've been involved with organizations and they give you the challenge to go and create something yourself. And then you're thinking like, oh, I don't want to send the wrong message, but you've even thought out slogans and themes that people should use. And, that would just jump the creative springboard. So that's great. Now, is everything presented to you once you register for Wellness Week? All the slogans, all the webinars, is everything right there? Is it point and click on the website?
Yes. So once you register, and you're able to register in either English or Spanish, which will then initiate you becoming a community partner, at which point we are happy to put your logo up on our website and social media platforms. And then you get a toolkit. And again, depending on how you register, you will get that toolkit in either English or Spanish, both if you prefer. And at that point, we give you all the tools you need to plan, promote, and participate in Wellness Week with Herren. But again, one thing that we really encourage is people to take the tools that work for them in their community, and as you mentioned, use that as a springboard to get creative and create your own, and then share with us what you're doing to celebrate Wellness Week with Herren as well.
Is there a deadline to register?
There is no deadline. We encourage registration as soon as possible, but you may register throughout the week of Wellness Week with Herren as well. And so we'll also make any recordings of webinars available after Wellness Week with Herren as well. So there is opportunity to participate, as I mentioned, throughout and beyond Wellness Week with Herren. And then I want to share some of the opportunities for the local Rhode Island community. We have some really wonderful things happening right here in our state. And so a big part of Wellness Week with Herren is Purple Spirit. So something that we have lit purple since the first Wellness Week with Herren is the Seconic River Bridge. So that will be lit purple this year as well. And then some of the other amazing things that are happening are Chris Herren is being honored by the Providence Bruins on Sunday, March 3rd at their afternoon game. I believe it's a 3:30 p.m. start. He's going to be honored as a community difference maker. He'll be hosting a special meet and greet 30 minutes before the game, and Herren Project will have special information available for the crowd throughout, and the community will have the opportunity to meet Chris Herren and learn more about all three of the Herren organizations. So Herren Project, Herren Talks, and Herren Wellness. And additionally, starting on Sunday, March 3rd, the Amica Pavilion, which is the home of the Providence Bruins, will be lit purple to raise awareness for the prevention and recovery of substance use disorder. Another exciting event is the State House event. So on March 4th, which is Monday and the official start of Wellness Week with Herren, we're going to kick it off with Chris and all of the Herren organizations at the State House, joined by Governor McKee and Mayor Smiley, who will both make remarks in support of the Herren organizations and the valuable work that we do for the state of Rhode Island. We're also welcoming and inviting everyone from the general public to join us. We anticipate a large crowd and several media outlets to be in attendance while we raise awareness as a community for the prevention and recovery from addiction.
If you haven't had a chance to meet Chris or hear him speak, I really recommend it. I am not a sports person. I would not think that I would be interested in a sports related story, but it's not really, it's his story.
Mhm.
And I have seen First Day a couple of years ago. It was fabulous. And more recently, I don't think I've heard him speak in front of kids live, but I got to hear him speak at a fundraiser. And I now feel like we're best friends because he told me I could call him Murph. And so even though I haven't heard back from him, I still feel like we're best friends. But he is so, I think humble might be the word. Like he is kind of soft spoken, but has a terrific, relatable message. It's really not about his fame or his basketball ability. It's about his story, which is he tells honestly and sincerely. So if you haven't had a chance to see him speak, I really recommend it.
Absolutely. And the First Day film screening that's happening on Tuesday, March 5th at 7 p.m. is a really great opportunity to hear powerful stories and learn critical tools about how you can turn struggle into strength. And as you mentioned, Chris tells his story in a very powerful way, an authentic way. And his message is about the first day rather than the last day. And I also think that the youth panel discussion to see how youth have been impacted by this film is going to be incredibly impactful as well.
Now with the bridge purple,
Yeah.
the
State House.
arena purple,
Yeah.
State House purple, there's obviously no way of me avoiding the plank for purple.
No, I think I'm going to be taking photos of you planking in the office and
This-
sending them to Tricia.
It's gonna be huge. But for all of those who are ready, inspired by the podcast, hearing your story, hearing Chris, how do they get involved? What is the website? What's the best way to start their Herren Project Wellness Week mission?
So anyone that wants to get involved can register at herrenproject.org. And as I mentioned, as a community partner, your logo will be shared on our website and social media. And there is no commitment. you can register just to show your support, or you can register and participate in every and all activity that we have to offer. And so we encourage you to take a look at our toolkit and see what inspires you and your community to get involved.
All right, thank you, Tricia. I guarantee Greg will be planking. I don't know about anyone else, but.
It's my awareness. I'm aware that I'm out of shape.
You have purple? Can you wear purple while
I do.
planking? All right, all
I
right.
be well, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. And I do want to share, our youth ambassadors are going to be getting involved in a lot of exciting ways. And so they will be hosting wellness events in their schools during Wellness Week with Herren. And during that time, they're going to do Instagram takeovers to share youth voice and celebrate prevention and action in their schools, communities, and personal lives. And then our youth ambassadors here in Rhode Island are also going to be participating in the BU Do Good donation drives. And so Rhode Island youth ambassadors are hosting sock drop donation drives to collect socks for the Newport County's coalition's No Wrong Door efforts. And then also we're going to be doing donation drives at the Newport and Tiverton public libraries, collecting travel-sized toiletries for Newport County Prevention Coalition's Fresh Fit initiative.
All right, super.
That sounds great.
I love a good donation drive. I love a good Instagram takeover
Yeah,
too.
that
That's
I
fun.
want
By kids, that's the best.
They'll show me what I'm doing wrong.
Right.
Wow. So thank you again. This has been wonderful. I really, really look forward to this year's Wellness Week. And wellness doesn't have to be just one week.
No.
So we are sure that Herren's going to make sure that we are thinking wellness at all times.
Yes, thank you so much, Tricia.
Thank you, Polly, and thank you, Greg. It was a real pleasure to be on your Totally Preventable podcast today. Thank you so much for the opportunity.